looking back at film, how would you evaluate how you guys played last Friday at Cal?
I thought defensively we were very good the first 20 minutes, except for maybe the last possession of the first half. I thought we started the second half with some focus defensively, and then we got caught up playing the scoreboard. Offensively, we got a ways to go. Just understanding how to get shots and stuff. I thought there was a stretch there where I didn't do a very good job as a coach, and Keontae went too long without touching the ball, and so we were able to rectify that one little stretch. But the great thing about the other day is that we scheduled the game so that we could go out there and play a tough, close game. And, when because it's our first time, and it doesn't matter the opponent, when you play somebody on their home court, Washington State goes to Prairie View, Arizona State goes to Texas Southern, Colorado went to Grambling. When you play somebody on their home court, it's going to be, you're not sleeping in your own bed. They're going to have fans. You're uncomfortable. There's stuff that comes up, right? And so to start the way we started, it was great, but it wasn't going to get what we wanted out of it. Now, I didn't want to go through giving up a 20-point lead, but doing that allowed us to see if we had the poise to handle that run at us and then be able to respond. And so there was a lot of good things that came out of the game.
And it seems like every game so far, including the exhibition versus Washburn, it's been kind of taking one step after another, playing for the way that you want them to play for sustained periods of time, longer and longer. What's kind of that next step that you want them to hit Thursday versus Kansas City?
We just want to play a little bit longer, focus together, so I thought we put like 24, 25 minutes together, maybe against Cal. And if we can get to 26, 27, we're really locked in and playing the right way, that'd be a good step.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tim. Next question to Alec from EMOG.
Hey, Coach, thanks for doing this. I kind of wanted to ask about your signing class. You obviously signed 3 kids that I imagine you're pretty excited about. Can you just kind of take me through what went into signing those 3 kids?
Well, man, our staff did an unbelievable job of identifying young men that fit what we're about and also fit the need that we have. And whenever you can sign 3 kids of that caliber in a short period of time, like we did, the hats off to our staff, and a big assist to our fans, because every kid mentioned the love, support, and attention and passion that they felt from our fans. And it's a big part of why they chose to come to K-State. And so, obviously Dede and RJ are dynamic scorers at the guard position. They can dribble, pass, shoot. They're Big 12 athletes. They were sought after, and blessed that we were able to develop early relationships with them even before we got here, that allowed their families, their dads in particular, both of their dads are seniors, Robert and Darren, and their dads to trust us to help continue to develop the young men that they've started with. And then McCaleb, man, I watched McCaleb while I was at Baylor when he was like a freshman or a sophomore. And I remember seeing him play, but he was a little bit shorter and, a little chubbier. And, but he had a really good feel and knack. And I was like, man, that dude could play. And then I lost track of him, and we were actually in Atlanta, and somebody was watching a JUCO event, and someone said, man, you need to see this kid that plays for the Jets. And, we had 2 hours before our flight, so we drove an hour across town. into a gym to watch one game, and it was Caleb Rich, man, and he was good. He can do so many things. He can dribble, he can pass, he can shoot, he plays above the rim. He has a good feel for the game, and man, when he grabs a rebound, nobody's getting it from him, and just love his competitiveness, and his best basketball is ahead of him. And so I'm really excited. They fit the needs of what the things, some of the things that we're going to be lacking next year, that with guys graduating and moving on, those guys are going to be able to step in and help us right away.
With all three of those prospects that you signed, you said that all three of them can dribble, pass, and shoot. Can you just explain how important it is to be able to have a diverse skill set when you guys are going out and tracking kids on the trail?
Yeah, I mean, the game of basketball is getting to the point where it's positionless. And so you got to have dudes that can do multiple things. There was a time when people wanted 3-and-D guys, and, the whole, trend was that. There was a time when people wanted a big center. There was a time, there's now you got to have multiple guys on the floor that can make plays for themselves and make plays for other people. And having guys who are weapons, right? I think from day one, those are guys who can step on the floor, and on any given night, they could get you 20, because of their ability to score the basketball. And so I'm excited for the growth that they're going to have while they're here.
And then I guess one quick follow-up that I have, this is your first class that you signed at Kansas State. Can you speak to what importance there is to signing a first class and how that impacts the culture you're trying to establish and all the different things that you're trying to make Kansas State basketball into?
Well, I mean, I think we signed a pretty good class this summer, with having to fill 11 scholarships. And the thing about the guys that we signed this summer, they're competitive kids who are winners, and they love the game of basketball, and they're guys that you don't mind being with away from the basketball court. And I think these three guys fit that same mold. So that's what we're going to have at Kansas State. We're going to have great citizens who are super competitive winners, and just going to love being a part of this community and this family.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. And next question to Derek Young.
Hey, Coach. Tyke Green's kind of been your almost go-to scorer off the bench in the first two games. Is that kind of what you envisioned from him when you signed him?
I didn't really have a vision for each kid. The goal was to get multiple guys here who could be weapons, and then figure out how they could best help us win games, and we could best help them reach their goals and dreams. And so, I'm very happy with how he's embraced where his role is right now. And, I just don't want him to be satisfied. I like the competitiveness of these guys, and that they're going to keep trying to get a little bit more. And because of that, they're going to make each other better. He was a big time scorer, at Stony Brook. And so I expect, as he continues to get comfortable and stuff, that he's going to provide us some scoring even more.
And on the defensive end, he's had quite a bit of an impact too, right? Is that more about his length?
No, you know what? He has really good instincts, especially off the ball, right? Like I'd like him to be a little bit more aggressive on the ball, play with his chest more and really impact the basketball more. But off the ball, I feel like he's always in a stance, and he's in the right position, and he covers up mistakes.
And you signed RJ Jones. I know you said he can do a little bit of everything, but is the shot making probably the number one attraction with him?
I think with both of the guards, the shot making was the number one attraction, because in this league, we have such great coaches and great players that they're going to take away your actions. They're going to know what you're running, and it's going to come down to 10 seconds on the shot clock, and you're going to need a player to go make a play. And that's the good thing about those guys, is that you got to guard them everywhere on the floor.
Thanks. Good luck on Thursday.
Thank you.
Thanks, Derek. Next question to D. Scott Pritchett.
Yeah, hey, coach. What do you feel like the team has done best over the first two games?
Competed and started fast. You know, they've looked excited to be on the basketball court, you know, and that's the, you know, like they're not taking the opportunity for granted. And I really enjoy that about them.
What have you thought about the tempo so far?
Okay. I'd like us to, you know, just continue, you know, like people talk about playing fast, but playing fast doesn't necessarily mean shooting fast. It's just your movement, you know, like we can wear people down by cutting harder and, you know, just being more aggressive on everything. I thought Cal did a really good job in the second half of blowing up our cuts and pushing us off of screens, and, you know, which bogs down the offense, right? So I'd like to see us just like run through contact and be just more aggressive in that area there.
Okay, thanks, coach.
Next question to Kellis Robinette.
Hey, Jerome, what would you say is your next recruiting priority as you look a little bit more into the future? What are you hoping to add next?
Man, that's good. Good question. I think for this class, for 23, you know, we're gonna probably, well, not probably, we will wait and sign some guys from the portal, some older guys to go with these young, talented guys. And so that would be that with 23. With 24, I think we can sign some more guys who are immediate impact guys, you know, always trying to get a point guard in every class. It's kind of like getting a quarterback in every class in football. You know, you want to get a guy a point guard, and just continuing to bring weapons, you know, guys who, if you have to guard all 5 guys on the floor, then, you know, you're going to be a pretty good basketball team. And it's when there are guys on the floor that don't have to be guarded that you have to like get tricky with your offense and all of that. And so just continuing to bring more weapons and, you know, just a higher level talent.
And with Keontae, as he's easing back into action here for you guys, I was just curious, does he ever have any kind of minute count on him heading into these games?
No minute count. Just over the years, we found that guys are more efficient when they play 32 or less minutes, and then when they get above 32 minutes, and just in our analytics and our studies. And so I try not to get them above 32, or any of them above 32. Now there are going to be some times when that happens, but that would be the goal, if they could be around 32 minutes.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jerome. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Next question to Michael Goins from Go Powercat.
Good afternoon, Coach. I appreciate your time. What was your recruiting attraction to Desi Seals?
He's a competitive winner. 2 state championships in high school, right? Went undefeated his junior year and then repeated again his senior year. Then goes to Arkansas and plays in Elite 8. You know, so he's a winner, and he's just really competitive. And everyone that we talked to about him said that he just lives in the gym. And that's been my experience with him here.
What is your week-to-week, game-to-game, aside from scoreboard, kind of measurement for your basketball team?
It's not week to week. It's day to day. Every day we're trying to get 1% better, you know, and we evaluate, did we get better? And it's not just the day, it's like every segment of the day. So did we have a 1-0 lift? You know, did we have a 1-0, you know, practice? Did we have a 1-0 film session? Did we have a 1-0, you know, did we have a break where they go to class? Did they, you know, take care of business in the classroom with Mary Claire? You know, are we going 1-0 in every aspect of what we're doing? And if we do that, then we're going to get the 1% better that we want to get, and we'll stack days that way.
And have you got any sort of philosophy on in-season tournaments looking ahead to next week?
Well, the hardest game to win is the first one, right? And so, really have to prepare. Everybody's prepared, had time to prepare for. And so, that's always, you got to get the first one. Then after that is just about how quickly can you recover and, how much you can learn about the next team and, just move on. But for the most part, we will try and play in a Thanksgiving tournament. And so the guys can go home for Christmas. That's going to be my philosophy.
You want to stay in prime time, right?
It'd be, I like being in the islands. So you're gonna notice we're gonna play in a bunch of islands. I like warm weather, and so that's the thing. I think our fans will enjoy that too.
I like it. Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question to Wyatt Thompson.
Thank you. Coach, congratulations on the win at Cal. I guess my question has to do with defense. Can you give me a little bit of an explanation of, just from the principal standpoint, what you feel like maybe one or two things that you're doing really well this early? It's been impressive.
Ooh, oh man, this is my weakness right here. Talking about what we're doing well. Now, obviously, I feel like we're locked into the scouting report. Our staff has done a great job of laying out what the other team is going to do. And our guys have done a great job of paying attention to the scouting report. And so there have been very few scouting report errors in that. And then, our guys have done a good job of flying around and just, I think our length, our athleticism, we've impacted the ball and caused teams to not be able to run their stuff, and now players have to make plays.
I guess my second and final question is about Keese, and I noticed in the game where he was 7-2 assist to turnover ratio and seemed to really have a little bit more control of that. How pleased are you by the progress that he has made in that way early on?
Man, I'm very pleased with Marquise. He's really buying in to what it's going to take to help us to win, and he's constantly trying to figure it out. And everybody's greatest strength is also their greatest weakness, and because he's fearless, his fearlessness produces great plays, but sometimes they get him in trouble, and he's learning how to temper it on the other end. And he's a sponge. He's really trying to soak things up and figure out how to continue to get better. And so, yeah, he's been awesome.
Thank you, sir. See you tomorrow.
Yep. Thank you.
Next question to Cole Carmody from Go Power Cat.
Hey, Coach. Yeah, I just had a question. There was a video that surfaced on social media last weekend, the Bill Snyder Award. If you kind of talking about that, I was just curious if you could kind of go into that and what went into that and how did you come up with that?
Well, I watched The Miracle in Manhattan, and I'd never seen it. Somebody sent it to me, and so I watched it, and I was blown away by Coach Snyder's selflessness. When a guy, when the story about him going to give his paycheck and says, man, start digging in the ground, or what do I need to do, and not complaining. Like some dudes, sometimes people promise you things, and then when they don't deliver, some people just use it as an excuse to not be successful. And Coach Snyder didn't use that as an excuse to not be successful. He was going to be successful. And his selflessness as a leader attracted other great people around him. I mean, you saw that staff that was there, and some of the guys, when you start looking at some of the coaches that worked with him, you can, he just attracted great people around him. And so we wanted to give an award to the person. Maybe I bet if it was up to Coach Snyder, like he could be in a crowd and nobody recognized him, and he would be very, very happy. I heard he always wore the same pair of shoes, the white with the black swoosh, and he always wore a windbreaker. right? Like he's just, unless he had to wear a suit, he wore a suit. Just those characteristics of a leader that wants everybody else to get the attention, just goes about doing his thing on a daily basis. We wanted to give an award to someone who other people may not have recognized it. It didn't show up in the stat sheet or whatever, but they contributed to us winning and moving forward and keeping guys, just caring about other people. So it's really a selflessness award. I was just so impressed by it and moved by it. And I want our guys, like anybody who comes through here, to understand the history of Kansas State, not just the basketball program, but of Kansas State. And when a guy has his name on a stadium and is coaching games in the stadium with his name and his statue in front of it, and yet he doesn't want to be recognized, he wants to give everybody else the credit. I mean, there's so much you can learn from that person. And so I'm just thankful to be able to. He wrote me some nice notes. He's been kind to me. I just to be around somebody that great. I just want to make sure that our guys understand what a special person he is.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Looks like we have one more question from Alec.
Thanks, Coach. I kind of wanted to ask a little bit about going down to the Cayman Islands. I know you're kind of really focused on Kansas City, but as you kind of look forward, what kind of challenges or expectations do you have for the team going down there for really your first MTE as a head coach at K-State?
I am focused on we play a team tomorrow that is talented. Marvin Menzies is a terrific coach. He's going to have a game plan to give his guys a chance, the best chance to win the game. And I other than the fact that I know that we got to drive to Kansas City to fly out because of customs, that's the only thing I've thought about with the Caymans.